Hey guys, Tealus here with another overview of an Overwatch hero. This time I'm going to be looking at D.Va. She is one of the tanks in Overwatch. Now, she may not look like a tank, but she is piloting one in that mecha unit right behind her there. So, the backstory of D.Va is the fact her original name is Hannah Song. That's her basic name, her real name. Now, this all started with before the Omnic crisis. There was an Omnic creature that would rise from the ocean near Korea, and it would attack its borders. It would destroy several coastal cities, and then it would retreat back into the waters. And Korea decided to create the mecha units, the drone units, which is the big item, the big mecha unit here, to combat this. And originally they were drones, and it worked effective for some time. The Omnic creature would continue to rise from the ocean and come back, but they were able to have the mecha units there to protect them. However, after a while, the Omnic creature adapted and started to kind of break into the defense mechanisms of the mecha drones. This caused Korea to have to find pilots. And this is where Hannah Song comes in. Hannah Song is actually a professional gamer. And professional gamers were needed because professional gamers had the right instincts and the necessary reflex to actually pilot these mecha workers. And so that is where Hannah Song, or her, gamer tag, as you could call it, is D.Va, comes into play. She is one of the best gamer girls, or gamers period, in Korea, and so she was chosen because she's kind of a fearless player and she has no problem getting into the thick of things. So that is why D.Va has become a hero in Overwatch. So welcome to the inner cockpit of D.Va. Right now I'm inside her mech. This is her standard form, is being inside this mech. So to start things off, I'm going to go over here and start taking damage because I need to demonstrate what happens with D.Va and her mech. So she's going to continue to take damage while I kind of show you how her other abilities work, or at least her guns for the most part, while I take damage here. Her first ability are the fusion cannons, and this is really, I think, one of the most powerful auto attack abilities in the game. It has no reloading, so you can just continue to fire it. It does a lot of damage, but it does have a wide cone, so the closer you are, the more damage you're going to get off on this thing. So as you can see, I'm going to shred this guy really quickly up here, but if I move all the way to the back, can't get behind the bots here. If I move all the way to the back and I attempt to attack this guy here, it's not going to go down very fast. It's going to take a while. Now, I'm reaching the bottom of D.Va's health bar as this bot continues to attack me. Now, what happens when D.Va dies is she just gets ejected out of her mech. She jumps out. And as you can see, I have my recharge for my ultimate is very slow. Or I should say, excuse me, it's very fast. It's much faster than normal. Now if I start attacking this target with D.Va's light gun, which is the only ability she can use when she's outside of her mech, if I start attacking this thing, you can see that ability starts building up really quickly. And that's because D.Va is really only useful inside her mech. And so they want to get you back in that mech as quick as possible. So really it takes, what was it, about 15 bullets to go from straight to full. So if you get 15 hits on a target, you're going to be able to get back in your mech. And that is part of your ultimate ability. If you are outside your mech, if you got killed and you're outside your mech, notice I have like no health. I am a tank, and yet I have a very little health, 150. Normally tanks have around 500 health. If you're outside your mech, you're going to die really quickly. So you have to be careful and get some shots off so that you can get back inside your mech, or build up the gauge quick enough to get back inside your mech. And you can use your ultimate, and there you go. A new mech is called, and you're back inside your mech, which is great. So With that being said, we can look at D.Va's other abilities other than her basic fusion cannons. We've seen her fusion cannons and we've seen the light gun when she's outside the mech. Her first ability is boosters, and this is just like a charge forward. And you can cancel it wherever, but it is great for jumping into combat, get in front of people, body blocking. This is a very large hero. The mech itself is very large, and so you can body block, take some damage, and to help with taking that damage, you have the second ability, which is Defense Matrix, which blocks any projectiles coming. The mech shoots out its own projectiles and destroys the projectiles as they come. Now, it's about a 10-second cooldown for that, but being able to charge forward and put this here, you can save someone. Now, do know that that charge forward can knock people. As you saw right there, I can charge forward, and it knocks them back. And then I can just kill them. So, she has great versatility and usage out of her two abilities that she has. Now, her true ultimate is the final ability, and it is basically just self-destruct. I believe it is called just self-destruct, yes. So you can eject of your own accord from your mech and have it explode and deal tons of damage. You have to be careful though, because unless you are behind a wall, you cannot just run away from this. You cannot eject and run away. You will die, because you will not get out of the blast radius in time. The smartest way to do this is actually to use the booster capability and then launch the explosion, and you can see how it destroyed all the bots that were in visible range. The other bots were behind doors or hiding behind something, but everyone else got destroyed immediately. Now, if your mech dies in this fashion, you are able to call a mech immediately. I guess you could say that there is a different recharge bar for your heroics, both inside D.Va and outside D.Va. So, as you notice, when I got back inside the mech, my recharge bar went all the way back to 0. But when I exploded it, it was already at full, even though I had used it earlier to call a mech because I had lost my mech normally. And that's just because they have a little bit separate timers for their ultimate abilities between the mech and D.Va herself. Now, one thing to note is that this, one thing I didn't mention about the fusion cannons is that D.Va's mech is very much like a tank. So when you fire these things, these cannons, you start moving really slow. As you can see, I'm crawling as I deal damage to this. And that's just to bring it into character with this kind of big mech tank that you have, is that when you start firing weapons, you move a little bit slower to get that accuracy off, so to say. So that is the one little thing that I needed to tell you about this. Otherwise, this is one of my favorite tanks in the game. It's a lot of fun. I get really frustrated when a D.Va gets destroyed out of her tank and then I can't kill her in time. And so she ends up surviving because of it. And that's happened several times. There's 2 deaths right there. 3. That guy was hiding behind a wall. And I can sit here and poke him with my blaster. And as you can see, this does no damage whatsoever. I believe Mercy's blaster does even more damage than this. But that is why you want to be in your mech almost all the time as D.Va. And that's because she has so much capability and utility out of it. How in the world is that guy here? He must have gotten knocked out of place. Anyways, he is dead. And that is everything pertaining to D.Va. She is one of the more entertaining tanks. And if you're in a battle with D.Va and she launches that explosion in there, she launches in her mech and tries to destroy you, your team better clear out or you can expect everyone to die. Many times that's happened. Someone just launches her mech as a detonate in the middle of an explosion, in the middle of a control point, and it destroys everyone. And it's pretty much single-handedly can turn the tide in a battle. So do watch out for it. Otherwise, very fun hero. I love playing D.Va. I hope you guys too, and I will see you guys later. Tearless out.